After 4 weeks of offensive ineptitude, are the Arizona Cardinals poised to change their personnel ways? Johnny Venerable, Bo Brock, PHNX Cardinals, and Bo. The Arizona Cardinals, as currently recording this video, are 28th in the NFL in total offense. Could we see a radical shift for Drew Petzing's group ahead of Tennessee?
I think we've already started to see that happen, Johnny. Starting Thursday night, you saw Kyler Murray throw the ball 41 times against the Seahawks defense. And the Cards, I believe, are getting kind of their hand forced here. As much as you would have liked them to just say, hey, we have Kyler Murray with that arm talent. We've got Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, that they just acknowledge and lean into the passing attack. But I think drastic measures has called for them to maybe make a shift as far as what their offensive identity is, because it once was what we've known the last 2 years under Drew Petzing was a stout run game. James Conner no longer available, foot surgery. We'll see what other personnel dominoes fall here. But as far as the Cardinals go, they're going to have to be forced to lean into the passing game going forward. And I think they're kind of acknowledging that finally.
Yeah, there's a personnel domino that we expect at some point this week. But you look at this team right now is currently constructed. This is what you have to do. This is if you're Drew Petzing and your job is on the line by January, it's like, do you want to stay in your stringent ways of 12, 13 personnel and the Tip Rymans of the world, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? Or do you want to say, you know what? I've got the number one overall pick at quarterback, and his best attribute is his ability to scan the field out of shotgun. Cliff Kingsbury knew that. Lincoln Riley knew that. Let him operate back there with Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch, Marvin Harrison Jr. in the passing game, and let's see what happens. I think good things will happen. Your offensive line is not the world beaters of years prior, right? Clayton Adams, we've seen it, has been a godsend, a football godsend for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, he's not coming back. You're not going to be able to establish the run game like you've had in years prior, partially because of personnel and coaching. So it's like, can you adapt on the fly? And if I'm Kyler Murray, like I relish this opportunity. People think I can't throw the deep ball. People think I can't scan the field. Like, I get it. You want to be known as a physical, line of scrimmage team, and you can still be that defensively. And I'm not saying you can't get in the I formation, but man, Bo, like the days of like one or two receivers in this offense with multiple tight ends and just a smash mouth running game, like that ship has sailed. Like your personnel doesn't dictate that. We're a quarter of the season, into this, 2025 campaign. The statistics are terrible. Like, you need to score points. Like, this is your last tune-up ahead of a gauntlet where Indianapolis, Green Bay, and now Dallas, you have to score points. You are not going to win those games 17-13.
No doubt about it. Couldn't agree more. I mean, I think, as far as the days of being bullish and established in the run are done, where if it's not there, you abandon it, and that your best chance at generating offense is going to be through this passing attack. I'm not saying, hey, don't have balance, just like you are. It's like, right, you don't just abandon I formation. Like, if you're sitting on a lead and you have to generate a run game, like that goes without saying. Like, they have to have some sort of balance. But as far as it being, just under 2/3 of the time that they're going to run the football, those trends are going to have to flip, and it's due out of necessity. And you look at just as far as the trends, as far as how the offensive line is playing, you mentioned it a little bit, like they're more well-versed to pass block. Paris Johnson Jr., we've seen it with Evan Brown, much better pass blocker than run blocker. We'll see what happens with Isaiah Adams. I think they're going to kind of stick forward with him still while they await the return of Will Hernandez. And then, Jonah Williams, who we know is probably a better pass blocker than run blocker. So it's all there for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, like, their first opponent, horrid against the run, Tennessee Titans, but they're awful in anything. I think you run just to create the balance. It's not going to be like what we saw against the Bears or the Patriots last year, where you just shove it down your throat. I don't think you have the ability to do so. I think it's you run to set up the pass. That's what the offense is. That's what the run game has now kind of been whittled down to, unfortunately.
Well, and you look at the second half against a really good Seattle defense, and I know they were going for it on fourth downs. They were playing with fourth downs, with less than 5 minutes left. So it's a little bit skewed. But, like, Marv looks more comfortable with this. Kyler and Greg Dortch, Michael Wilson, like, that's your team. Your team is not Amari DiMercato. That's with all due respect to Amari DiMercato. Like, that, you're not winning a playoff spot in 10-plus games featuring a couple running backs. You're going to get to the playoffs or not, or save a job or not, by allowing your most talented players offensively to lean into their strengths. And again, I would have implemented a lot of this in the offseason, and hell, Bo, maybe they did. Now they're just finally kind of break glass in case of emergency. But it is ironic. They take Tip Ryman, they take Isaiah Adams. They want to be this smash mouth team. They've had these players available. You've had a quarter of the season. It did not work. Your quarterback, your wide receivers, everybody is regressed right now. And you're in a class offensively with teams that either are starting over, will start over, have backups at quarterback. Like, it's unacceptable, especially when you've got a defense playing top 5 to 7 football right now. So, like, you were gifted Carolina, you were gifted New Orleans, you were gifted Mac Jones. Like, you blew a lot of those opportunities. You get one more gift, essentially a preseason bye against the worst team in the NFL, and you're building this weekend off 10 days of rest. Like, this is what you should have done week 1, week 2. Knock off the rust. Let number 1 rip it. You're going to give up some more sacks, so be it. Like, I was of the mindset in the past, like, well, you can't go to gun too much. You can't get Kyler Murray hit. He hasn't lasted. Like, we're pushing all of our chips in the middle of the table. Like, K1, Marv, Drew Petzing. Like, this group has to work. Otherwise, we're going to be doing shows in January, and people are going to be calling it for cleaning house. So you have to try something new.
Yeah, I mean, it's survive and advance at this point offensively. And like the first half, maybe the first 3 quarters against Seattle, I think you saw them going through that change, and it looked really bad. It looked just as bad as the previous week when they tried to kind of keep and hold on to that identity until the gruesome, injury to James Conner.
Yeah.
And now I think that they're embracing it, and it looked ugly. It's not going to look perfect going forward, but I think that they have the personnel, Johnny, to get this kind of switch done. Like, it's what we've been calling for. Now I think the decision makers, the people in power positions that make it happen now are forced to do so. What do you think? Do you think the Arizona Cardinals are going to benefit from leaning in to what we view as a potential strength? Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray throwing the ball, Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, a passing attack we've all dreamed about. Drop a comment, leave a like, and of course, subscribe to PHNX Sports.